Gangster Bet is Icon's next generation NFT collectibles of 5,555 gangsters and detectives, with changeable names and stats. Holders of Gangster Bet NFTs receive daily distributions of GBet tokens. GBet can be used to upgrade their NFT skills and stats. The supply of GBet will decrease over time and will stop after 9 years. Holding Gangster Bet NFTs will have opportunities for future airdrops and will give you access to Gangster Bet's highly anticipated metaverse. Learn more at gangsterbet.io.
Shout out to our sponsors at Icon Bet. Open source, decentralized gaming, no deposits, play straight from your wallet. Icon Bet, made by the players, for the players.
Eye on Icon is proudly supported by Icon Nation and the Icon community. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Eye on Icon. This is a special episode. We have the founder with us today, Min. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me, as always.
Yes, no, we love having you on the show. And today is a special episode because Min is joining us and he's going to actually talk us through everything Icon, Bridge, and BTP related. As we know, we are moving forward instead of BTP. We are first progressing with Icon Bridge. So who better than to have Min on and talk through everything Bridge related, the state of the industry, where Icon is with things, and I won't say anything more. I'll throw over to you, Min. So, how are you feeling, Min, about things? How are you, first of all? How's things? The community's been loving your tweets and just your engagement, everything about it. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been very good, as I sort of mentioned before. I guess, first of all, I hope you and others in the community notice my setting here. So the YouTube or the streaming background, the new mic. I'm pretty excited about trying out this new set. My assistant has been bugging me about, hey man, like you look like crap on your videos. Like I need to like upgrade your videos. So like she finally made a studio for me to talk to you and other people in a more professional manner. So first I thank you to my assistant for making this lovely like setup, and it's nice. It's nice to see myself look better, and I think the quality's better. There's like a new camera. I mean, it's I'm not used to this. Obviously, I'm not a very. I don't. I do this because I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy talking to the community, but it doesn't come out natural for me to be on camera. So, I don't, this is not my area of expertise. So, but thankfully I have good people around me who kind of spends time on this. So
Totally.
anyway.
In fact, it was literally what people don't know. It was the first comment. As soon as I saw you, I was like, "Whoa! I love the new getup." So, yeah, no, definitely great work there.
Yeah. Got to make maybe a little bit of adjustments here and there. We'll see. I want to see myself. Anyways, let's move on. But other than that, I've been great. That's I think this whole industry. I mean, we've been in the pandemic for the past couple of years. We're starting to come out of it. I've been going to like more local conferences. I've been meeting some people. It's great to have a lot of help now. We've been hiring. A lot of the hires that we brought on board has been ramping up very quickly, and now finally we're at a state where things are cruising at the speed that we want to, and I could focus more on not just building but planning for the future and spending more time doing this type of communication. And so I think we're in good shape now, finally, after years and years of trying to get ourselves get out of a hole that we dug ourselves into. So we've made some mistakes. I think everyone knows we admit these mistakes, but the important thing is like we're back in the driver's seat. We're moving forward. We're glad that we made a lot of the painful changes, like the Icon 2.0 migration from
Mm.
Python to Java was like extremely excruciatingly painful, and we're so happy that most of that is like we still have a little bit more work to do, but most of that is like behind us, and we're finally talking about BTP
Mm.
a lot more. This is at the center of our vision, what we wanted to accomplish. We're finally getting there, and we're very excited to finally be able to launch and showcase this in this year. And it's not just us that's very excited. It's our partners are very excited. I think everyone around us is very excited, and we're finally gonna show what we're really meant to, the
Yeah.
why we're Icon, why we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So it is a big month, right? April. I believe we are looking to ship Icon Bridge in April sometime. So before we dive into that, I thought, look, let's take a step back and let's let the community everyone in the community know what is the state of BTP like. What are some of the milestones we're looking to achieve, short term, medium term, long term? So around this, I'm thinking, let's talk through Icon Bridge and then talk about BTP. If you have some insights you want to share around the teams that are working, what the setup is of the teams, to give a bit
Mhm.
more clarity around the process moving forward in regards to BTP.
Yeah, I mean, we could divide it up into various segments. Some segments I'm sure I'm maybe not the best person to talk about it, but we'll see. We'll go with the flow. First of all, I guess let's take a step back and talk about BTP. BTP stands for Blockchain Transmission Protocol. It's been in our white paper. People have been asking questions like, when BTP, when is it coming? What is it? So BTP is basically a general communications protocol where um, it's about how to do interoperability. So it's very different from a lot of decentralized bridges that you see today. And it is much more flexible, much more robust, I would say, than just simple token transfer. So I think a lot of people just see what's out there, in the DeFi space, being able to bridge over, one or two tokens and say, okay, like you guys are slow, you guys are not getting there, but what we're building is a lot more robust. And today, maybe I could touch upon why that is. But there are four major components that goes into BTP, and the first one is the relays. The second is the message center. Third is the message verifier, and the fourth is the contract handler. So these are all, I won't go into like these technical details, but these are all very important components. Um, and we've initially built the architecture and coded every single component. However, the message verifier had some, I wouldn't say issue, but it wasn't very economical in a sense that it just the transaction costs to make BTP the most decentralized interoperability solution was very costly. So we had to sort of take a step back and redesign the last part. So all the other components are there, and we are able to launch it. And we're going to be launching this very soon. It's called Icon Bridge, but the full BTP won't come um, until a few months later. And yeah, we could go into more the difference between the Icon Bridge and BTP. But basically, the Icon Bridge will be able to do a lot of things. Is more robust than what a lot of the other bridges are offering. For example, we're going to be able to, wrap a certain token um, in one blockchain and be able to wrap another, the same assets in another blockchain, and those two are existing in different blockchains. However, if you exchange it, if you move it to another each other, those are all going to be compatible, which
Mm.
is um, I don't know if I explained that correctly, but um, it is much more flexible, more robust than what other bridges are offering today. So
Yeah.
I think that is quite fascinating. But again, like this is in the short term. We are aiming to showcase this hopefully by end of this month.
Mm.
Maybe it'll sip into um, May, because we want to make sure that things that we launch is secure. We want to do enough testing, and testing is always, security of these bridges. As you already know, there's a lot of exploits happening in the
Mm.
space. So we want to make sure that we, do as much testing as much as possible. So I would call this like more of a beta bridge in the near term, and we're going to slowly try to scale that, put more assets in, more use
Mm.
cases in. So things are going to roll out uh, more slowly than what other people might want, but I mean that's all on purpose. And then in the background, our team is working, just going, heads on with developing BTP at the moment. So the full package hopefully will be ready in the next few months. So I would say in the medium term, we hope to launch this, the premier technology BTP, and a dashboard, basically a web interface where people can interact with to. And the BTP is a technology that will power these backgrounds in the background.
Mm.
Um, like for example, we're also working with some of um, the other service providers that could integrate BTP directly, so be able to wrap assets. I think that would be quite interesting. And you know, we're going to start the liquidity incentive program slowly as well. We want to make sure that we incentivize enough users to test out our BTP. So it's kind of like stress testing our own
Yeah.
technology, but we want to be able to roll that out strategically and slowly, so that again, security is a big
Mm.
it's going to be always on the top of our minds. And then in the long run, which when I say long run, it's going to be hopefully maybe early next year, where we want to go full heads on BTP and be able to really, really blow it up as much as possible. We want to try to work with as many partners, integrate BTP to as many partners, as many blockchains. We already have some I wouldn't really for the lack of a better term, maybe smaller blockchains or newer blockchains that are wanting to use BTP because it is going to be a much more a better technology, and
Mm.
they need you know in today's crypto world, interoperability and being able to freely move asset is a requirement,
Mm.
is something that every new blockchain needs. And being able to plug that in right into the Icon network to be able to be compatible with every other blockchains out there, that's extremely, extremely powerful. So um,
Yeah.
we're very excited with some of these early conversations that we're having with um, other people in this industry. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. Excellent. So, and I think this is an important point. BTP as a whole is an evolving product, isn't it? It's not. It's shipping and this is it. Basically, what I'm getting at, you know how you have your version one, version two, and new features get enabled, like your iOS, your software on your phones. As it
Hmm.
evolves, it starts giving you new features. BTP is essentially like that. It's a product that is in constant development, isn't it?
Right. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's going to be, that's pretty much everything we do in
Mm.
BTP. Uh, is the same. We're always going to be looking to make improvements, to make it simpler, to make it more economical, to make it more decentralized, to to
Yeah.
make it better and better. So it is, yeah, we want to be able to bring in more, you know, developers to use it, and we want to try to make this the most premier interoperability solution out there. So that takes a lot of investment, research, and development.
Yeah. Okay, great. And with Icon Bridge, so uh, it is basically BTP. The way you've described it as well, it's missing just that decentralized component uh, of it. But when you look at Icon Bridge, so its first initial use case is going to be token transfers, but fundamentally, because it's everything BTP is, like you said, you can still swap assets from one chain to another, but from that
Yeah,
chain to any other chain that's connected. It doesn't need to route via Icon. Basically can move to any chain that is connected. Before we used to say to the BTP network, but essentially any chain that's connected to Icon Bridge will be able to move assets between each other. It's by design fundamentally the same, minus the
yeah,
decentralized portion. So
yeah.
so the value add, and I know this is a big thing, like this is what BTP, the value add to Icon, that's still present, isn't it, with the Icon Bridge?
Oh, yes. So I guess not the full package, but I believe it is going to be more um, flexible and more usable than other bridges out there that you see today. I think it's, if you have experience using bridges, you kind of sometimes wonder you use a bridge product and you see like, okay, there's, a token A from one blockchain and you want to move it to another blockchain you know,
Mhm.
that's possible. But like when you click that and you want to move it to another blockchain, so you change it and you just see it like, yeah, it's not available.
Mm, mm,
So you sort of need to move that one to this one chain, and then you need to do another transaction where you move it to another chain, or sometimes that direct link is not even there. So
mm.
it's a very fragmented experience right now, and I'm not saying it's like, I think I've seen a spreadsheet with basically all the popular chains, and like in order to move this asset to another asset, this asset from one chain to another chain, there's like this table of like how to, like, which product to use to do it most efficiently. And it's, I thought that was quite interesting because like sometimes it takes like two steps. And
Mm.
anyway, long story short, it's uh, definitely there's room for improvement.
Yeah.
And uh, I think the beauty of BTP is going to be that, if you're in the Icon network and if BTP is integrated, then you can freely move assets from any chain
Mm,
to any chain. And on top of that is a general communications protocol, meaning it's not tied to a specific token. It's going to be more general, so we could continually add different type of smart contracts, different types of tokens in there to be able to function. So there could be more complex smart contracts that could easily be interoperable as well. So it's yeah, it is much more robust than what's out there today.
So one of the things that I keep hearing is, that yeah, token transfers, but also then people use these terms generic messaging across blockchains, and
Hmm.
that's expected to unlock a whole layer of untapped value. What are your thoughts around it? Do you have do you feel like Scott, and I've heard you as well talk about it? How do
Hmm.
you feel? Well, what potential use cases does that present with BTP?
I mean, there's a lot of use cases that could come to play. I think NFT is probably the easiest one. There's a lot of fragmentation around NFTs at the moment. Um, there's different types of NFTs standards. So
Hmm.
I mean, and then just different type of smart contracts that are out there. in general. Um,
Okay.
there's yeah, I mean, in terms of use cases, I guess just like simple on-chain trading across different blockchains is another
Yep.
one.
Yep.
Finding the best route. I think you've seen some products out there, but
Yep.
with BTP, I mean, there could be more efficient way of doing
Mhm.
on-chain exchanges.
Yep.
Mm, yeah.
It's interesting
Uh,
because even right now, if you start
mhm,
connecting the dots, CPS, for example, Mousebelt,
mhm,
put through a proposal to build a aggregator
right.
cross.
Uh-huh.
It'll start on Icon, but essentially, this is one of the big use cases for BTP, where um, if they're an aggregator, they try to find the best rate, not just on Icon, then they can any of the other contracts and chains connected if they integrated into some of them,
Yeah.
it could find the best rates on them via that single DApp, which is pretty cool. So it ties
Yeah.
into what you said.
Yes, something like that. It's, I think, very valuable.
Hmm.
So I forget you know, what priority is that right now in the CPS proposal,
Oh
but
yes,
I
yes,
think it's something that directly, I think, adds value to not only BTP, but so I guess BTP and the entire network.
yep,
But not just confined to the Icon network, but it also adds value to the entire blockchain industry. So
yep,
I think we that's something that is quite needed, and
yep,
I wish I personally wish it gets a bit more support, but
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, no, understand. There you go. So, Min, okay, then let's move on to and talk a little bit more about Icon Bridge. I think,
Hmm.
how is the team feeling? Because for a long time, BTP being the flagship product, the differentiator being trustless, decentralized. But after a little while, obviously, once the issues were identified, uh, the team said, okay, let's create go forward with Icon Bridge, which is a bit of a centralized product. So,
Yeah.
why have a centralized bridge in the
Yeah,
first
I mean
place for Icon?
that's a good question. I think what kind of came down to was, are we comfortable or releasing a product that we're proud about? And as I mentioned, like 90%. I mean, I'm just gonna come up with some numbers, but
Yeah.
basically the majority of the components that makes up BTP is there. So, and it does, in our opinion, provide a similar or better experience with other bridges that are out there. And this is easily transferable to, or we could easily migrate from Icon Bridge to the BTP. So it's
Mm.
won't be a difficult transition. It's not like moving from like Python core engine to moving to Icon 2.0's
Yeah.
Go loop engine, like all of that. It's like was very very painful. This is nothing like that. So I think
Yeah.
we presume everything will be a quite smooth transition, and from a user side, I think there's a lot of value that this Icon bridge could bring uh, through being able to transfer Icon
Mm.
assets or bring over bridging other assets into the Icon ecosystem. So overall, I think it's we see it as a stepping stone to the next phase, um, and it wouldn't disrupt the user experience in a negative way. Um, and then yeah, I mean you know as a lot of the other bridges, other available solutions out there are, already centralized, and
Mm.
it's not doesn't, we don't think, so what I'm trying to say is Icon Bridge is very comparable, if
Yeah.
not better than what is existing out there. So my answer was like, why not release
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, no, no, it's a good point. I think this is as well one of the things
Hmm.
from it that underneath tech is pretty much the same as you called out. To there
Hmm.
is a value add instantly to just being connected, right? A,
Hmm.
a year ago, it was you were there was no connections, but you were connected via an exchange. You'd if you wanted to do something and move to another chain, you'd move through an
Yeah.
exchange and then move. Now bridges, people have built private bridges. A lot of this has become a big thing. So
Hmm.
having, if the tech is ready, just one that decentralized
Hmm.
part, we can still run it all the same. Why not? I mean, I am excited too. I know Binance Smart Chain already. I've been thinking of possibilities if where we can move assets with
Hmm.
our stablecoin in a pancake swap liquidity pool, and then move straight on to Binance. It creates a world of possibilities, and we already have DeFi infrastructure in place with Balance, the main critical ones, Balance, Ohm, things like that. So the second the bridge is activated, and the incentive program that you talked about kicks in, it will. There's incentive for people to just try
Hmm.
and chase that yield if they choose to. But
Yeah.
overall, it just brings value to the entire Icon ecosystem. So, um, yeah, I'm happy to see Icon Bridge moving forward um, very soon.
Yeah.
so,
Definitely.
so did you want to talk, like, one of the things the community asks about? So we know when we talk BTP and things, it's there's this comment, and we're told, yep, for BTP we need a relay. So I actually recently have been asked a few questions around what are the requirements to operate a relay for BTP. Because to clarify, Icon Bridge will need a relay, but that will be operated strictly by the foundation, because that's the key component,
Yeah.
and the foundation will
Hmm.
run it. What are some
Right.
of the requirements around that?
So, like you mentioned, I think the initial stages, we want to make sure that the relay nodes are operating properly. So, I think it makes sense that, you know, the uh, uh, the Icon Foundation or Icon Loop or the teams that are building BTP are the ones that are running the relay nodes. I think that's going to be important just to make sure that things are, smooth. Everything is, moving at a way that we want to.
Mhm.
But in the long run, like you said, anybody will be able to become a relay node and become a relayer. It's going to be, I think right now there's some, like, in order to become a relay, there's a reservation. You need to put down like 25,000 ICX. I can't remember the exact number, but this number, I mean, it could definitely change, and it's um, all very flexible, I would say. But the
Yeah.
initial plan is, yes, like anybody in the long run will be able to join as a relayer and be able to contribute and be able to operate a relay at a uh, and it will be a bit profitable, similar to how there is as a as a validator on the Icon network.
Mm.
You are earning block rewards. If you are a relayer, then you'll be able to get some monetary benefits from it. So there's token
Yeah.
economics at play here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Excellent. So that's where once we move on to
Hmm.
BTP, then the relay network can expand, because that's when the decentralized
Hmm.
process will take place. And
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I
good to
don't.
know.
Right. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess we could go into a lot more details about like what is a relayer. I'm not even sure if it's relevant for the broader community to even understand how this whole relay operations work or how BTP actually works in the background. Um, it's fairly technical, so if you want to go deep into the rabbit hole, there's enough articles that are out there that
Mm.
kind of talks about light client relay nodes and being able to, basically these nodes are kind of operating in the side to be able to sync um, between two blockchains. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot to learn and digest here, but the big picture is that where the reason why there's a relay and the way that Icon BTP environment, the way it functions, is like it's think of it as a separate functioning system where it is fully decentralized, and um, there will be it's a design that is trustless and be able to facilitate transactions between any blockchains at ease.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's shift gears, and I wanted to talk to you about
Mhm.
Icon. So if we think Icon, how do you feel Icon will reach a sustainable economy?
Yeah, it's a very, very good question. It's something that we think about, or um, we plan for. Basically, um, for one, everyone knows about the contribution proposal system.
Mm.
I I believe TJ and some of the Icon community members want to change the name to something like Ecosystem Fund or something else. So we'll see what the name will become. But it's basically the way the Icon system works is that currently a small part of the inflation or money supply that's created or minted, about 10% of it goes into a contribution proposal system fund. And this fund is basically used to vote on projects that add value to the Icon ecosystem.
Mm.
So, we sort of had a discussion on Twitter today on like, I believe we're trying to come up with some standards on what projects can and should be uh,
Mm.
supported by the CPS. There's some discussion on, what about, you know, what are some of the projects that Icon Foundation versus the CPS should be, supporting. I mean, there's a lot of discussion, but at the end of the day, it's about like sustainability. So,
Mm.
you know, in the long run, um, you know, the Icon ecosystem, the Icon network is owned and operated by the community,
Mm.
and the CPS is um, a community fund that is managed by the community that could fund, you know, anything from core, infrastructure development to, investing into a DApp um, product or anything in between. So
Mm.
any marketing initiatives, and I think there needs to be some more guidelines, but the general idea is that there is this fund that could be tapped into, and this fund will be used for the growth of the Icon ecosystem, which is
Yeah.
very, very powerful. So, think of it as, how a you know a real nation state that collects taxes, and that those taxes are used to fund um, you know different public projects that benefits the entire citizens and communities in that in that living
Mm.
in that nation state. So yeah, I mean, it's similar concept, and I think in the long run, it's going to be increasingly more useful, and it's going to make Icon ecosystem more and more sustainable. And I think we're getting there slowly, and it's something that we need to continue to figure out. I guess the other part is that there's, it's um, I understand that a lot of people look at like the trends of blockchain today, and they look at, there's a lot of these like new protocols that's, new projects that's coming out. And some things are trendy, some things disappear. And, you know, I think it's quite interesting to see how this like industry evolves. But
Mm.
when I look at Icon's benefit, or one of the most important things about Icon, is that it's very, very consistent. We
Mm.
have consistent building. We have more and more community members joining. We have a token that is, ICX is basically more and more accepted anywhere. It's traded everywhere, and I think that in itself shows a lot of confidence by, not just the Icon community, but, just the crypto community in general. Icon, ICX is a very, very liquid asset, valuable assets. You could buy them on all, most major exchanges, and that continues to grow. So, ICX is here to stay. And the more history we have behind us, that makes it more sustainable. So, I think Bitcoin is very, very valuable because, it still exists today, right? So it
Mm,
has a short history relatively, but for the past, over 20 years, is very consistent. It's traded everywhere. It has a lot of liquidity, and more and more. It's a very secure network,
mm,
and it hasn't failed. Icon has been operating for about 5 years, and I think we have all the foundations. Like a very, very, we have a strong foundation. So, ICX is accepted by a lot of vendors now that we work
mm.
with, because it is, very liquid. So I think we have that luxury, and as we move forward, it's going to be even more, the project's going to be even more sustainable because there's like so much liquidity in the space.
Yep. Yep. No, okay. Well, that leads perfectly into what I was going to ask you next. So, if someone were to ask you what is Icon's investment thesis, or put simply, what does
Hmm.
success look like for Icon, what would you
Yeah.
say?
That's a very, very good question. So what we believe is that the icon is, it's very, I guess the future, I think I've talked about this like many, many
Mm,
times. The future is multi-chain.
mm,
When you talk about multi-chain, there's going to be more and more blockchains that's using, different technologies. There's going to be more application specific blockchains. We talk to a lot of enterprise partners that want to basically build their own blockchain. We see a lot of Ethereum dApps that were very successful, realizing that, you know, Ethereum can't support the level of transactions, ETH2 rollups, like all of that might solve a lot of these like application problems or
mm,
scalability problems. But I believe that in the future, like there will continue to be um you know projects that want to basically these have their and operate their own blockchain. So we've seen like CryptoKitties or Dapper
mm.
Labs move away from Ethereum and start their own blockchain. We've seen Aragon is another example, and we've seen it from other chains too. So Icon, we're one of the only we are the only general purpose blockchain that offers Java language smart contracts, which is very, very attractive to a lot of the enterprises that we talk to. So, and a lot of these enterprises that have engineers that understand and want to write in Java, we're already talking to, or we already, have some of them think, migrating to the Icon blockchain. So it's
Oh,
going to be, I think the future is going to be very, very interesting. We're going to see some more people coming over to the Icon blockchain because of Java, because of BTP. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of going around in circles, but kind of coming back to the core. And my point is that the future, is going to be more and more blockchains,
yeah.
and we believe we have kind of three strategies.
Mm,
The first is, like I just mentioned, the Icon blockchain is very unique that we have the Java language.
mm,
So there's Ethereum or Solidity, supported, networks, which is our Ethereum forks or EVM compatible chains. There are WASM or Rust based, chains such as Solana, Cosmos, SDKs. There's, I think, even Near Protocol uses Rust. So Yeah, there's those, but you got to understand Java is one of the most popular languages out there, especially used by enterprise, and we have that entire segment, and we're
Mm,
ready today. And a lot of enterprises are starting to realize that. So
yeah.
we think more applications are going to be built on top of Icon just for that sole reason, and
Mm,
we need to do a better job of we talk a lot of people talk about marketing, but when I think about marketing, it's like we need to market our this feature to the enterprises and uh, developers out there that want to build with Java. So I believe that we will expand, uh, you know, through this one strategy of
mm,
something that's very unique to the Icon network, which is Java. Second, I sort of call it a horizontal expansion, and that's basically our core technology, which is BTP. The more we integrate BTP to other networks, um, other blockchains, so such as Ethereum, such as Solana, such as Avalanche, like all those other blockchains, more value it creates for ICX and the Icon network. So, and then we're going to continue to integrate and expand into connecting these networks.
mm,
And what's great about BTP is, as I mentioned, um, once you connect to the Icon network, you are able to connect to every single other networks.
mm,
So if you are a company that is launching a new blockchain, and most bridging solutions out there are very unilateral, meaning every single if you want to connect to Ethereum, if you want to connect to Avalanche, you need to set individual bridges because these are all unilateral bridges, you know. And the benefit of BTP is, like I said, it is very simple. You just connect once and you're connected to everyone. It's economical because you don't need to spend all that time and resource to connect to every chain individually. And third, we provide the most decentralized solution out there, which today it is very under recognized, but as we move forward in the future, decentralization is going to be one of the key competitive advantage of BTP.
mm,
And then third is something that we're continuing to work on is going to be, again, it goes back to the whole Java and the being able to use or scale Go loop. So we see a lot of these projects offer, um, you know, like for example, the Cosmos ecosystem offers Cosmos SDKs, which helps scale their IBC solution because if you're a developer team and you want to launch your own, application specific, blockchain, that you
mm.
use Cosmos SDK, and I think they've gained dozens of teams that
Yeah,
use that, and the IBC allows like very plug and play solution. So interoperability gets shipped in a box, making it very easy for interoperability.
yeah,
So and then there's like Polkadot substrate, and then I believe there's like Avalanche subnets. I mean, all these are to kind of help expand their own ecosystem. So Icon, we hope to at some point be able to launch something very similar.
mhm,
Right now, it's our partners at Icon Loop has been working with individual enterprises to, you know, to put in or to launch like private blockchain networks, and then but in the future, like we hope to get more of these Icon based um, you know, blockchains launched that
mm,
will, and the BTP will come along with the package so that, automatically, as soon as you launch, you have BTP already integrated. And from day one, it's interoperable with, not just the Icon network, but the entire, public blockchain ecosystem. So, that's going to be, I think, very, very powerful. So,
yeah,
I think we have these different strategies in place. And I don't know any other projects that have like so much more, um, prepared like
Mm,
the way we do. Yeah.
yeah. So, what I love about everything you just said, Mint, is uh, some of the founding. When Icon founded, we knew the push was enterprise. Now we know enterprise adoption turned out to be a lot slower. Political plays and took part in that. However,
Hmm.
what you've just went up with the question I asked you, it was Icon's investment. Why invest in Icon, basically? Um,
Yeah.
and you've reconfirmed that enterprise has not been forgotten. It is still our goal. That's why we have Java Go Loop. That's why that entire painful process you've expressed how tedious it was to get done, but that's why the team persevered and shipped it. BTP interoperability
Hmm.
vision has not been forgotten either. In fact, it is coming to life. And then also, the whole idea of the value add, that is what is going to add immense value to Icon. And that's the last point you called out. I don't know if everyone's connecting the dots, but we're already seeing a little bit of it happen. Maybe an SDK isn't out in the open, but recently Icon Loop announced that partnership Spira, where it's an NFT gaming blockchain,
Right.
but the goal is to connect via Icon's BTP, and I think this is what you're alluding to, isn't it? Soon, um,
Right.
yeah. So instead of the out of the box solution where we connect BTP is kind of twofold. What from what you're painted now is we can connect to an existing chain, like let's just say Avalanche, Ethereum, for example, or
Hmm.
soon they could just build a custom chain that ships with BTP as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so you kind of it's covering all angles.
Right. That's exactly it. We give the best all around options for anybody who wants to enter the blockchain space. So you you want to launch your own blockchain. Here is Icon SDK. Here is Icon solution that you could get, and you could download. You could launch your
Yeah,
blockchain right away.
yeah,
If you want to use another blockchain solution, that's totally fine.
mm,
We will have, we could integrate it in, BTP with it and make it interoperable with the Icon blockchain and everyone else in our network.
yeah,
Because even if you're using like an Ethereum fork, why would you want to spend all that resources and to make it build in individual bridges, right? And
yeah,
yeah, it's just like a lot of work, and Icon has already done a lot of this work. There's a lot of value, existing value that you could tap into, so it doesn't make
mm,
sense. And that's part of like the value of the Icon network, is that as more chains are integrated into the our Nexus hub,
mm,
the more value there is, and it's going to be very, very difficult for anybody to just ignore it and build their own bridge. And then, lastly, it's like, for people who don't want to build their own, blockchain. Like, I don't want to, it's a lot of work. Like,
yeah,
operating a blockchain is a lot of work. Keeping things decentralized, it's just infrastructure side is a lot of work. So
mm,
there's a lot of people who say they just want to build their own app. Like,
yeah,
why deal with running a blockchain? So
yeah,
yeah, if you want to just build an app, you just build on Icon. If you like the Java language, if you don't like the Java language, you could, I have nothing against people building on other networks.
yeah,
And because you know at the end of the day, those applications will be interoperable with the Icon network regardless. So
mm,
yeah, and then we give options too. We have something like Ice Network that allows EVM compatibility, which will be very, very useful. So again, we're giving various options, and I think just the versatility of everything that we're offering is going to be very, very powerful in the long run.
yeah. No, it definitely sounds like it's all coming together. Look, honestly, today you painted a picture that I don't believe has been painted before, especially with the SDK component and just catering to that side. Now, it may not be
Yeah.
tomorrow; it's happening tomorrow, but I think it's more that you've shared
Yeah.
that this is the grand goal. This is what we're leading to, So playing all parts of the puzzle. So that's awesome. Okay.
Right. So I don't want to like say that's, again, a lot of these ideas are, I'm just kind of talking out loud and it's sort
Mm,
of in the works, but the general idea is, yes, like the Sparrow project is built on the same technology as the Icon network.
mm,
It's, it's, too bad BTP isn't ready yet in order to be shipped out of the box, but
mm.
in the future, what I see, and what I want to make it available is for anybody who wants to use our technology, you could easily use it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's brilliant. Okay, I mean, I feel we've covered a lot today. Is there anything like? There's one other point I picked up on. You mentioned Ethereum and Ethereum Bridge. Is there something? Because we've known in the past, I guess with BTP, Ethereum wasn't on the cards due to the specific nature of the decentralized component. Now that Icon Bridge doesn't have that component, we have heard, yes, that Ethereum could be, um, you know, uh, built out because now they don't need to hard fork in any way. So,
Yeah.
and you mentioned, and I swear I picked up you saying something about a connection to Ethereum Bridge. Is this now most likely something that will happen with Icon Bridge?
Yes. So it is something that is in the pipeline.
Mm.
And it's not like a partnership with Ethereum. Ethereum is more decentralized and open. There's no like,
Yeah,
it's not like Harmony where we have teams working together. It's
yeah,
just more, we have a team that is integrating. I mean, the thing is like Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, they're both built on Solidity, and
yeah.
it just it's very easy,
Mm.
at least from what I know, to we've already built it for Binance Smart Chain. We just need to
Yeah,
um, you know use that for the Ethereum as well. And there's going to be some testing and things
yeah,
that I'm sure the team needs to do to, again, to make sure that security is at the highest priority. But yeah, the idea is like it shouldn't be too difficult, at least from what what my team is telling me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, look, and that's something the team has consistently said. I guess the biggest hurdle has always been this hard fork, but the tech is the same, everything's the same, and if this actually happens, the connection to ETH, this is brilliant because it kind of shows that Scott used
Yeah.
to always say this, once the contracts have been built, we can then the same chain language, we can literally reuse the contracts. And yeah, what you said, Binance Smart Chain, they're both the same. So if
Yeah.
and this is the final point, isn't it? You don't have to, like you said, it's not like we don't need to partner with other chains. Like, that's the whole point of blockchains. You can build the
Yeah.
contracts on each end, connect it, run the tests, make sure it's all working. Boom, there's a bridge to use. And obviously then to gain adoption, that's why we have the incentive program, right? And this is
Yeah.
something as we keep building on Icon Bridge, and when BTP is ready, we'll see more adoption of that incentive program. I get excited, man, when I start thinking about the future. I get excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned this on one of my tweets. I've never been, so excited. I think the last time I was this excited was back in 2017 when the ICO money, came in and we're just kind of ready to get things rolling. I mean,
Mm,
that time was very exciting, but next to that, I mean, today is probably the most, exciting time for Icon. I mean, we've learned a lot the past 4 years. We've corrected a lot of our mistakes. We have a very solid foundation. We have a
mm,
very solid strategy. We have a very solid team. We have pretty much everything aligned at this point to really really move things
mm.
and push things. And I think it's I don't want to give ourselves like too much credit, but I mean, I think we are one of the older tokens and
Mm,
projects that's existed and from 2017. I think that shows kind of the resiliency of the Icon project. I think we should definitely get more recognition
mm,
for that part where a lot of people like in this industry love to move on to like newer, shinier projects. But I think if I had to bet on it, like Icon, where it's gonna be a great year, and
mm.
we're gonna have it's a hopefully if there was like a trophy for like comeback of the year project, I would be all for trying to go after that because
Yeah.
I think we're kind of you know set for that type of a comeback this year. So we're very excited.
Okay, no, love it. I think that's a great way to close it out. Min, thank you so much for coming on the show again, answering quite a few difficult
Yeah.
questions. It's just great to get your take as well,
Yeah.
on different things and what's happening in Icon itself, and just to see you saying things of just how excited you are for this year and the future of Icon. But for me, I called this out earlier. I just loved how you covered um, why Icon, what is it, and then you covered all the key points that has always been said from day one. If people invested in the ICO for interoperability or for enterprise, you've kind of still got that vision at heart. It has evolved, no doubt. The public chain kicking off its own dApps and got a lot of momentum around it, especially the NFT boom and Icon's been amazing. You can see a lot of new blood, new community. New blood's a terrible term, but a lot of new community members have actually come in and experiencing Icon thanks to the NFT marketplace, and NFT becoming the big buzz. So
Hmm.
yeah, we've been growing in all directions, maybe not in all directions extremely fast, but that hasn't changed. We've got our enterprise where interoperability is now about to ship, and a public chain has been getting more users and dApps on it. And finally, we are becoming more decentralized as well, which is crucial to the success of Icon. So
Yeah.
um, thank you, Min. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I look to have you on more often. I keep saying this. I think that will start happening. I'm keen to have you back, talk about other things as well.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me again. And yeah, this is fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're yeah, I guess I'm very excited. And yeah, any questions that the community might have, just you know, tweet at me. I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. I mean, we have you as our community member. We have other people who are here to be helpful. So if you
mm,
have any good questions or suggestions, feedback, I mean, we're all here to help. Thank you.
definitely. No, thank you, Min. Okay, everyone. If you haven't, make sure you like, share, subscribe, get this out there. You're hearing from Min, the vision and what Icon is going to be doing in the future as well. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Min.